go to the Rockies. EA Sports coverage of the NFL takes us to Empower Field at Mile High in Denver, Colorado. Tonight, it's on to Week 10 already, and we've got a good one in store between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos. And hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, we look at this Bronco team. They come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire you, and it doesn't have to be one of your best players either.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column. Something's
got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. And this will go as a touchback, and they will begin things at the 25. So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. As we take a peek at Sam Darnold, the former USC Trojan and third pick in the 2018 draft.
And the numbers were not pretty. I mean, they don't look right. When you throw 2 interceptions, no touchdown passes, there's no way to really make that work. But I thought there were a lot of positives in watching his game tape. I think he's close to putting out a good performance. Let's see if he can flip those numbers around in this game. And, of course, rally his team to a win.
Darnold. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it. So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Darnold. Pass complete. George Pickens with it. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Now they'll run for the first time with Najee Harris. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Here's Darnold. That is incomplete. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Here's Darnold rolling to his left. And that will be incomplete. So on 4th down, here's the Australian native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. KJ Hamler deep for the Broncos. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And they'll be led by their 5'11" quarterback, and a mobile one at that. From Temple, it's P.J. Walker.
This is a guy who truly believed in himself coming out of Temple. He bounced on and off practice squads for 3 years without an opportunity. And his big break, it came in another league. The unofficial MVP of the revived XFL led his team to an undefeated record with 15 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions in a shortened season before the league folded. A little bit on the small side.
They're looking for Judy, but it's intercepted. The safety, Terrell Edmonds, picks it. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football.
I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their 2nd offensive possession. They'll have very good starting field position here after the turnover as they search for the first points of the ball game. After the interception, here's Darnold. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. And in for the Steelers touchdown. Deontay Johnson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one.
I know these wide receivers are about flash and dash and high-flying plays, but a good number of them played running back at some point in their career, and that's how they finish off a lot of their big plays, run after the catch.
And this time he finishes off the big play in the end zone. Extra point put through by Boswell, and it's now a 7-0 game. Well, they got the ball in great field position. One play later, boom, end zone. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others, where they think they have an advantage. Dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
They'll lose a yard there. It's 2nd and 11.
One of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Walker. He's got his 6'5" receiver. That's Tim Patrick. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
And that's how you shake off the interception you threw on the opening drive. Come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
And Walker now to throw on first down. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Walker. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. To throw is Walker. He's got a man. It's Sutton. That's complete. And he will have a Broncos first down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1. The Broncos at 2-7 now in the year. And they come into this one knowing it's been a while since they've had a W. They have dropped 4 in a row.
Let me tell you, when you go a month partner in this league without a victory, it gets tough to come to work every day. And in addition, you start to wonder about your job security as well.
A first down throw for Walker. Open man, and he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line.
The start of this game has me doing flashbacks and remembering when I was playing and seeing a similar start and seeing the head coach actually take a timeout and gather the whole team around him and tell everybody to get it together. Let's get some focus going here, because maybe he just sensed that maybe the whole team wasn't ready to play.
Yeah, well, they've gone interception, now fumble. Harris starts the drive on the ground, and he works free. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. That one good for 33 and a first. Anyone who watched Najee Harris at Alabama knows the kind of strength that this guy runs with, and he's continuing on that path here at the next level.
Yeah, and this could be a sign of what this defense is in for, because you know all week long the coaches were preaching to the defense, you've got to be able to wrap up against a back like him or he can make you pay. Technique, technique, technique.
So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Darnold throw into the hands of Pickens. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. On 2nd down, this is Harris. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop it behind the line.
Holding offense.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Darnold now to throw, finding Pickens for another catch. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. Throwing here on third down, Darnold. Crossing route catch made by Johnson. And he will have a Steelers first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
To end up running a crossing route. A little bit more than a slant. And he's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
So not quite a first and goal. It's first and 10 from the 10. Harris running straight ahead. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Here's second and 9, just a yard on that last run. Back to throw, Darnold. Johnson with a completion over the middle. Seventh play of the drive upcoming here on third and 6. Now it's Darnold. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
And partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's third down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there.
Oh, look at this. A flip to the kicker. He's going to try to run for it. They're not going to get it. They try to move the chains with a surprise, but it's a turnover on downs. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. They are currently mired in a losing streak. Now they get the short week for the Thursday night game. Do you see that as a potential positive, or is this just more in what has been really a string of bad luck for them?
Well, to me, it comes down to leadership, and leadership's got to spin it into a positive and make it an advantage for them. Yes, we're in a losing streak. Yes, no one thinks we can win, but we have the resources we need right here in this room. Let's go ahead and play better. Let's hang together and shock the world a little bit. Put it all together, they've got a chance of coming out with a W.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another first and 10. Now a give up the middle to Williams. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, second and 10. To throw is Walker. Screen play set up for Williams. 5 yards. Now it's third and 5. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Here's Walker. Hard throw, incomplete. The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Fielded at the 20. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Steelers will go on offense here, first and 10. So here are the Steelers to take over on offense. They're on the good side of this game right now with a lead, but they were on the bad side last week in that loss to Cincinnati, so now trying to make amends. A handoff to Harris to begin the drive. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. From the 31, Darnold. He'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Freiermuth. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
So a first and 10 now in Denver territory at the 49-yard line. To throw is Darnold. This is Chase Claypool on the receiving end. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there at 22.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. And he's able to motor his way down to the 16-yard line. 52 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
Darnold from the red zone now. Able to hit his target, Claypool. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it's 2nd down. Now Darnold. That's complete right around the 8. And he's able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds. On the give, this is Harris. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. Williams will score. Touchdown, Steelers. And that is what you call lowering the boom down near the goal line. He was going to force his way in no matter what.
They always talk about low man wins when it comes to the offensive line, having the leverage to move the defenders. It's strong man wins when it comes to tackling in the red zone. And if you happen to be the low man and the strong man, that's a huge win.
Extra point now by Boswell. And it's good to make it 14-0. That time a 9-play drive. And it was Jamal Williams who ended things with a touchdown run. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. The Broncos about set to go on offense. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Walker. This one complete to Jerry Jeudy. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. It's Devin Bush, the linebacker, who picks it. And the Steelers are going to take possession of the football.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
Here comes the Pittsburgh Steelers and running back Najee Harris. It may just be the 2nd quarter, but he's in his zone, well on his way to eclipsing that 100-yard mark.
And when a back has a game, as we're witnessing right now, his name's going to be in the books, but it's really a collective deal, isn't it? Because that means he's getting plenty of blocking, a lot of help from his teammates, but he's making the most of it.
Yeah, he's made the most of it to this point. To throw again on 2nd down. Darnold. Oh, he shifts past him. And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Darnold. That one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass. Now Darnold, and an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. Darnold to throw again. And he'll only get this to the 14 as he'll come up well short of the 1st down. Now a timeout called for by the defense as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. Boswell's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. The Broncos going to go on offense now late in this first half. I don't think they need to be reminded of the situation here. I mean, the clock is dwindling. 3-score deficit waiting for them at halftime unless they can get something on the board here before intermission. And he will find his man Sutton. That's complete. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Akello Witherspoon. And the Steelers are going to take over at their own 28-yard line. Well, I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
And I think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you've thrown this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
Just over 30 seconds to go in the half. They've got it 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up 2nd down.
Well, I can spin this negatively as he just got back to the line of scrimmage. But when you really analyze it, he took away a big play for the defense, made it an uneventful run because he avoided a sack and didn't lose yardage.
All right, guys, thanks very much. We'll get back with you shortly. But first, let's take a look at what's coming up this weekend around the NFL. Good games all over the screen there, one being at MetLife Stadium. A big one for the Jets as they'll square off against the L.A. Chargers. Taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Taking on the Minnesota Vikings. And finally, Monday Night Football. They've got a good one lined up between the Baltimore Ravens and the Indianapolis Colts. Time now for a check of the next few stats for the Steelers in that first half. And their offense has been in top form so far, especially their passing game, as it's helped push them out to this big halftime lead. Meanwhile, for the Broncos, they did not have quite the same amount of success in the passing game that their counterparts did, as you get a look at the numbers there.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. This one fielded at the 5. A lane opens here. He's past the 30. And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return. The offense ready to go, and again, it's P.J. Walker at quarterback. And that first half was nothing short of a disaster. 0 points on the scoreboard and a big 3 in the INT column.
So they've got to get him going, obviously, right? So you've got to get him in rhythm, and we always think of short passes. I think of jet sweeps where they just kind of toss the ball forward. You know, that counts as a forward pass. And then you can say to him, look at that. You completed 3, 4, 5 in a row. Now you've got to get your confidence going.
That is caught. It's Williams. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down.
Yeah, we talk all the time about playing situational football. Right now, I think the
scoreboard is dictating what they need to do. Where they are in this game.
Mike Tomlin has reached for that red challenge flag, and he'll throw it out there.
Previous play is under review.
Did he keep those feet in bounds? That's the question they've got to decide. And I got to say, watching it in real time, it was awfully close.
Yeah, it certainly looked like a heck of a catch because he didn't appear to bobble it, which could complicate things. But even with the benefit of replay, that's pretty tight.
Now here's the call. So Mike Tomlin correct in his assessment to throw the flag there. On third down, here's Williams. And he won't get to the marker. He's a yard short. A pickup of 3 and leaves him with 4th and 1.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the second time. He'll send this away into the Rocky Mountain night, and it's a good one. And this is a beauty as that ball's going to angle out at the 6-yard line. So well done there. And these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do. And now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
They turn to Harris to begin the drive. And he's brought down, but not before they get it across the 20-yard line. 70 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. What makes a draw play like that successful?
Well, we did see where he made the first wave miss, and that was a big part of it. But a lot of it is just being actors back there, making the defense think it's going to be a pass.
Now they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him. It seemed like he kept going through those progressions, and I thought he might dump that underneath, but he couldn't get rid of the football in time.
And I have to wonder if he was thinking while he was back there, I wish there were a lot less progressions on this play. Just someone that I could dump the ball to and get it out of my hands.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Another try after the first down sack. Darnold, open man, that's the tight end fire move. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. The Steelers send out their punter now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Now a fair catch taken just across midfield, maybe by a yard or 2. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Walker on the slant, completes to Sutton. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
That's a nice catch there. Remember, he had the fumble earlier. No way he was giving up the ball in that situation. Secured it tight to his body and picks up the first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Well, thanks for joining us here on a Thursday night in the NFL. 3rd quarter, 2nd and 10 coming up. In trouble, and he's taken down. Larry Ogunjobi in for the sack.
Well, obviously the pass rush gets the glory and the statistics on this play, but the coverage, They deserve a ton of credit, too. Denied open windows, erased the quarterback's targets one by one. Everywhere he looked, someone was covered. Only a matter of time before someone got there to bring him down.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Walker now. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Brendan McManus for the Broncos field goal. A 64-yard attempt.
And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. But for almost 8 years, 64 stood as the NFL record for the longest field goal. That has since been eclipsed. It's now 66, but still 64-yarder. Pretty impressive, CD.
Absolutely agree with that, because if you drill a 60-yarder in an NFL game, you've got a lot to be proud of. Record or no record. And only a handful of guys can even attempt it. Excellent job there, putting that one through the pipes.
The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. They hand this off to Harris, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Here's Darnold. That's swung out wide to Harris. Got a nice job to break free of 1 tackle, but it slowed his momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. 5 yards, not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
How about that strategy there, Brandon? 3rd down, they just said, we've got faith in our tacklers. We'll give you the short stuff, and just decided to protect the sticks. So every time I hear fans telling me tackling's not a part of the game anymore, plays like that, I can clip and save and show them you have to tackle well if you want to be a good defense.
The Steelers send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return, and the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10. So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. They'll try to get this running game going with Williams. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down. Seemed like a couple sets of eyes were on the quarterback, so he decided, hey, I'm going to hand this off. Got a good gain out of it.
And you know you need good blocking up front in order to gain yardage, but every one of these RPOs, if you do it right and they look the same, whether it's handed off inside or the quarterback keeps it, that allows you to fool the defense so often. And in this case, fooled them with the inside run.
1st down, Walker. That's caught by his tight end, Foster Moreau. From the 47, it's 2nd and 5. Up the middle, it's Williams. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now to Denver. The Broncos on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. And working out of the gun here, Walker. Got a man, it's Judy, complete. And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 38-yard line. A strong pickup of 11 keeps their drive alive.
Good yardage on the completion there. When they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And the Steelers are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he had made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
Pittsburgh offense making their way back out. They have to like the position that they are in. 4th quarter, 2-score lead, and now the ball back after the INT. Meanwhile, Darnold's throw there hauled in by Claypool. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
Well, it may seem a little unorthodox to some people. Got the lead, 4th quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football, be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
No, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
A run with Harris out of the shotgun. And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the 1st down carry. Again, it's Harris on 2nd down. He'll get only a couple down to the 44. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Darnold now to throw. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The veteran Joe Schobert getting to him behind the line of scrimmage.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. So the Broncos coming out now. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. To throw is Walker. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Call it a loss of 5, a big sack to bring up 3rd down.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
The Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. Now Walker. And this is going to be incomplete. Fourth down, Walker. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Broncos unable to convert here on 4th. And the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover. From the 22, Darnold. He's got his tight end Freiermuth right side. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now third down coming up. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. And he's going to lose a yard or two, taken down behind the line. Draymond Jones able to get him down behind the line of scrimmage, and it will be fourth down. Boswell's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Simply stated, I think you have to look at that as a missed opportunity.
And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. Denver's offense now set to go. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. And Walker now to throw on first down. Sutton reeling it in on the left side. Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. From the shotgun, it's Walker. This one swung out to Williams. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Here's Walker. He's got a man. It's Sutton. That's complete. And he will have a Broncos first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. Walker. Got an open man here, and it's KJ Hamler. Now the Broncos are going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Walker from the gun on 3rd down. And now here is another interception. Levi Wallace with a pick. And the Steelers are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. Well, there's 2 sides to this coin. I mean, on one side, 5 interceptions now thrown for him. That's tough. But, man, this defense, they have been ball hawking and impressive. But, Charles, let's flip it back over. If you're coaching a quarterback that's struggling this much at this stage of the game, do you maybe try to get him out?
I would think about it, and I think about it awfully hard, but also you might want to look into his eyes, see what he has. He might be one of those players that you don't want to affect his confidence by actually pulling him out of the game. So you have to know your player, you have to know the situation.
Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Harris going to get it again on 2nd down. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22.
He was taken down at the 22-yard line. A 3-yard gain on the play.
So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I tell you what, I can't remember a defensive performance as good as this one. They seemingly forced turnover after turnover after turnover every time you turned around.
Yeah, you just keep going with it, can't you? After turnover, after turnover. As this game unfolded, they were doing all the dictating, right? They told the offense exactly how it was going to go down today. So you saw them deflate with every series, didn't you? Every time they ran onto the field, it was slower and slower to get to the football because they just felt like if we go out there, we're just going to turn it over anyway. So it's a really